Hey, Cowboy Nation, this is Cowboys Abroad. Let's get into some football talk. Let's talk about the business side. Let's talk about the business side of football just a little bit. Let's talk contracts, just a little bit. Um, it's no secret that the Dallas Cowboys have several contracts on the horizon. You know, with the likes of Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Byron Jones, Jalen Smith been on the rise for a contract. Anthony Brown on the rise for a contract. Malik Collins on the rise for on the horizon for a contract. Lyle Collins on the rise for a on the rise on the horizon for a contract. And so it's no and the Cowboys have about going into the off season. The Cowboys will have about 30 free agents. Right after the upcoming season. So uh, there will be a lot of contract discuss. There will be a lot of contract discussions for the purpose of this video. I don't want to get into one particular contract, or I don't want to get into individual contracts. Let's just talk in general contracts. Now, first of all, source. This particular website that I'm on right here is the official NFL website. It's the official NFL website, and so I started out with saying that that the information that you see here doesn't come from me. It's come from a credible source uh, from the NFL itself. And under this column, what you will see, in this column right here, contract language. Just want to talk a little bit about the language that you might hear. We hear a lot about we need less guaranteed money, more guaranteed money, fully guaranteed. That type of rhetoric goes around quite a bit, and mostly you know, fans that may or may not truly understand what does that mean. What does it really mean? Guaranteed money really mean? What does fully guaranteed really mean? What does it really being guaranteed? What is the player really being guaranteed from? It's the pending questions, and so uh, I don't know. I don't want to go through. I don't want to go through and read verbatim every paragraph here. Um, every paragraph here, but I will take the time to highlight a few key points. First of all, uh, again, a player can be guaranteed in his contract uh, based on skill, the cap, injury. Uh, Now, the skill basically, if the team believes a player is not playing up to par or not playing up to the level play he should be to be entitled to the salary that he's getting, um, and the team decides to part ways from him, a player might want to be protected from diminishing skill sets. Um, I'm not really hitting the numbers that I used to hit for whatever reason. The Cowboys gonna bump. The Cowboys on another team gonna part ways with a particular player. Then a player might want to be guaranteed from diminished skills. Another way player could be um, another guarantee in the contract language is cap guarantee. Now this veteran players, as they play a few years, they get expensive. They get expensive, and they get worth, and their value goes up pretty significant. Particularly when what they call rookie contracts come into play. from some of these younger guys. Um, so what does all that mean? What does all that mean? Well, for players been in the league for been in the league for 5 or 6 years, 5 or 6 years, played well for you. Maybe he comes at a price tag of $10 million a year, or you can go get yourself, or you can get yourself a second round draft pick, second round draft pick that gets a 4 year gets a 4 year what they call rookie contract, which is basically a 4 year contract at cap salaries of about $3.5 to $4 million a year. And play that you can play that young rookie second round draft pick with 3, 4, $5 million a year, or $5 million a year, as opposed to that veteran that's been around with you for 5, 6 years that may now cost you $10 million a year, or $12 million a year, or even $15 million a year. Um, a good example of that, is if you look up here, um, Lawrence, 2019, 2019 in his second since 2019, he played for $17 million, and he ended up getting a contract for about $20 million a year, making him $100 million man. So, and I say all that to say that veterans can get expensive. Veterans can get expensive, and they can get expensive quick. So, um, if you need to part ways with somebody, a good way to do that is give it to one of them. Give it to one of them expensive veterans. So players want to be protected. From being released in the event that the team can't get on this cap and decides it wants to part ways from veterans because of their value. And that's what they call cap guarantees. If I get cut, because you can't sign all your players, you can't get underneath your cap, I'm gonna get some compensation for that. So that's what that is. And then there's of course the obvious one, which is injury compensation. In the event a player get injured, can't play, what does he do then? They still get paid. That sort of thing. And so uh, that is usually the sticking point of a contract. How much? Because there's a shared liability when the player steps on the field between the player and the organization. If a player gets hurt, yeah, problem, and his check is at stake. But also the team still has to replace that player. The team still has to find somebody new to fill in for that player. That sort of thing. So you end up having to pay. When injury guarantees, you end up having to pay this guy while he's injured, and still have to bring in another player, to replace him. And so uh, with that, um, employers typically NFL teams typically uh, like to protect themselves when it comes to injury. Just like the player wants to protect himself in the event of an injury. The player don't want to go out there, put it out on the line, get hurt, and then he's done for it. His career is over, and he ain't got nothing to show for it. So he wants protection, but also from I'm an organization, say I'm the Cowboys, I don't want to give you $50 million. You go out there and you have a knee injury. I'm guaranteeing you $50 million. I still got to pay you that. You may not play for me. You may not play for me again. And oh, by the way, I also got to go get another player to fill in for you. So for me, that could be expensive. And that could hurt me when I'm trying to put players on my cap. So that's a problem. So but these are the three ways that you can be guaranteed. Three guarantees that you get in contract. Diminished skills, in the event that there's a financial situation where teams can't fit underneath the cap, they gotta let you go. And in the event a player gets hurt, in that particular situation, now you look at guaranteed money. When they talk about guaranteed money, they are generally talking about those three things: skill, cap, and injury. As you can see it right here. So no matter what happens to the player, the organization is still on the hook for that money when it comes to full guarantees. Now, uh, players get paid. Players get paid in base salary, um, which is no different than any other base salary on a team. I mean, it's no different than the base salary of a job or something like that, with the exception of generally uh, your player's base salary is 1/17th of his um, base salary is divided up in 17 game checks. And basically, if a player every time a player plays a game, he gets another fraction of that particular piece of pie, of that 17 piece pie. What it boils down to, So if you miss a game, you miss 1/17th of your check. When it comes down to it, if you get suspended, you miss 1/17th of your check uh, per game. So 1/17, 2/17, 3/17, so on and so forth. So and I say all that, and that is a standard line in most contracts. Um, and I say all that to say that in the event of a player getting suspended, he misses game checks, he misses money, and there's this nice word that they like to use right here: forfeit. He forfeits that. So in the event of a player, in the event of suspension, the player's not getting doesn't get paid. And that's just kind of how that works. Well, actually, when I say kind of, I mean exactly how that works. Now, um, some of these players they receive signing bonuses and they receive signing bonuses and things of that nature. And you see a lot about teams converting base salary into signing bonuses, that type of thing. And the reason they do that is because uh, when they convert base salary into a signing bonus, they can then take that signing bonus and prorate that over the life of the contract. So if you sign a 5-year extension and you get a $50 million signing bonus, then you can take a cap hit $10 million a year instead of having to take a $50 million cap hit right off top. So that's pretty good. So that's a pretty good deal. And so you see a lot of teams converting money into signing bonuses just so they can prorate, some of that base salary over the course of the contract. That's a real common practice. So anyway, that is just some basic language of contract. Uh, Basic language of contracts. You have uh, fully guaranteed, fully guaranteed, and then you got um, the things that you're guaranteed against, which is basically diminished skills, and diminished play, and cap hits, and injuries, that type of thing. So what does it all mean? What does it all mean? What does it all really mean? Um, the Cowboy fans, not really a whole lot. We don't get to spend the money. It's the players' money. We don't get to spend the money. It's the players' money. and we don't have to write the check out for the guys. That's Jerry Jones and Stephen. That's Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones have to write out the checks. And so what does it really mean for us? Don't really mean or help a lot for us, other than the fact that we get a little bit of better understanding of how these contracts work and what we're talking about when we start talking about all these options. Because you hear a lot of rhetoric being thrown around, and you may or may not know what that means or how it works, or that kind of stuff. Um, and that kind of stuff. So it's important. It's important that both sides feel good about the contract language, feel good about the guarantee, feel good about the guarantees, feel good about um, feel good about um, how the how the contract is drawn up. Because if you guarantee a player, if you guarantee a player all these days, then something happens, and you have to assume that liability. It makes it much more difficult to put together the rest of your roster. And if you want to bring in some quality talent where you've already tied up most of your money to players that may not be playing for you, and with no bailouts, and still having to pay that money, you may not have the cap space necessary to bring in the quality players that you need. And so then you have to go inside and you have to renegotiate these contracts and borrow from these contracts and uh, accumulate what they call, and you have to accumulate um, cap space. Cap space is going to have to be uh, addressed down the road. So it's like borrowing from a credit card, and you eventually have to pay it. You eventually have to pay it back. It eventually catches up with you, and then you have to end up borrowing from one contract to another, to pay players and stuff like that. And I think that we, under Stephen Jones, as Cowboy organization, is in a much better place. With Stephen Jones running the budget, because he don't typically let those kind of things happen. That's the reason why the Cowboys are a $5 billion organization. They know a hell of a lot about money and contracts and these types of things, and the business side of it. Those guys are geniuses at the business side of the game. So anyway, I'm not my disclaimer. I'm reading. I'm studying. I am not an attorney. I am not a legal language. I'm not a legal language expert or any of that kind of stuff. I'm on the websites like any fan can go on the website. You can go on this website right now and find a particular language and study and read it for yourself and get your own interpretation if you like. I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to share some info with the NFL fans. And so when we started talking about all these things, we all have a commonality, same understanding of what we're discussing. Anyway, I'm Carlos Abroad. I've talked long enough. I'm gonna get off here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. I'm out.